I'm obsessed with this. Wait, this is so pretty. Hi everyone and welcome back. If you are like me, you're starting to get this little itch for spring. The weather might be turning a little bit, flowers might be starting to bloom, trees are starting to come back to life. And with all of that going on, I felt really inspired to create a spring makeup look for you today. If this is a look that you'd like to recreate, keep watching and I'll show you just how to achieve it. My name is Molly and welcome to my new YouTube channel, The Beauty of It All. Here we talk about makeup tips, go over product recommendations and reviews, and I walk you through simple yet sophisticated makeup looks that you can recreate on your own. If that sounds like your vibe, if you are a beauty lover, go ahead and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any future videos. But for now, let's get into creating this beautiful spring makeup look. So for my base today, I'm gonna start out with the Hourglass Skin Tint. I'm using this today because while we're getting closer to spring and that warmer weather is coming, it is still a little chilly here, so I wanna make sure that my skin is very well hydrated. So I'm just gonna go in with a bit of this, and I'm in the shade 4. I love this moisturizer, this tinted moisturizer, because you can totally skip an actual moisturizer. It has that much hydration in it. So I would say, like, be conscious of your skin prep when if you're using this product, because it could get a little out of hand. But if you have drier skin, oh my goodness, this is gonna be such a wonderful product for you to have in your collection. Just gonna make sure this is all nicely blended out. And I did do my brows prior to filming this. I just used, of course, my Rare Beauty brow gel and then my e.l.f. Instant Lift brow pen. The star of the show today is truly this RMS Eyelights in the shade Aurora. This is so stunning, and this is such a unique product because while it is like a gel cream eyeshadow, it dries down so wonderfully, so you don't have to worry about it creasing throughout the day. For springtime, this color couldn't be more perfect. It's a beautiful lavender lilac. It's absolutely gorgeous. I went to New York City with my mom this Christmas time. We went into a beauty store called Credo, which, if you haven't heard of Credo, it's got a lot of different brands that are very, very clean. That's kind of their whole mantra, is they're supposed to be a very clean beauty store. I'll insert a clip here. The stores are beautiful. They're so chic. And they've got a lot of brands that are in Sephora as well. So like Kosas is there, West Med Atelier, but they've also got some brands that I hadn't seen before, RMS being one of them, which I was super excited to get to touch and feel and play with some of the products in real life. We had a great time looking through things, and this was the one thing that I picked up from our trip there. Before I go in with this product, I'm gonna take one other step first. This is from Ulta Beauty. This is their Longwear Matte Cream Eyeshadow in the shade Flower Power. This is, I think, a fantastic base for your eyelids on any given day. But what this specific color does, if you have lighter skin, it really just eliminates any discoloration, any veining, pigmentation on your eyelid to give just such a smooth canvas effect. So I really want this eyelids to pop today. So to ensure that, I'm gonna make sure and prep my lids with this to make sure that there's the smoothest, most even canvas for this guy to go on. So I'm just gonna take, this is just an e.l.f. blending eye brush, and you don't need a lot of this cream eyeshadow. I'm gonna wipe off all of the excess. I'm just going to, in the center, put a little bit on like that, and then very quickly blend it out. You wanna work quick with this eyeshadow. You don't need to use a lot of this product. Now look at that. It doesn't look like I've got eyeshadow on, but compared to this eye, you can see that it's just more even. It doesn't look like you can see any of the veining, and it just, again, creates that great canvas for us to work from. So now that we're done with prepping the eyelids, it's time to go in with the eyelights in the shade Aurora. You need such a small amount of this product for this look. I'm gonna bring you guys in closer when I actually start doing the eyeshadow look. But just to show you, so it just has a twist off cap. Be very wary of these. You can see the product immediately just comes out of the packaging. I will say that's the one disadvantage of this. Unfortunately, it does tend to waste a bit of the product just because of the packaging. It wasn't their best their best work, but we'll make it work. I'm just gonna take a little bit on the back of my hand. You need just, I mean, like that much, you guys, maybe a tish more just for error, but you want to work quickly with this. This dries down very quick, so I'm going to go ahead and bring you in a little bit closer for this. To start with this look, I'm going to take an angled wing liner brush and start shaping the outer wing. I'm just going to angle it up and start taking it down onto my lash line. As I feel more comfortable with the shape, I'll then start bringing the product onto my lash line and further into my eye. And then I want to make sure and thicken it up so that it's nice and visible. Once I feel comfortable with the shape, I'll turn the brush around and make sure that I've got my inner lash coated, and this is the shape we're working with. I'm gonna do the other side, and then once I feel comfortable with the wings matching up, this is roughly the look that we're gonna be working with. So I think this looks really nice at this point, and I'm very happy with the shape. From here, I'm going to make sure that we have some nice contrast so that the highlights really pop, and line my eyeline with a black pencil. This is just a Makeup Forever Artist pencil in black. And then I'm next going to take a nude eyeliner and line my lower waterline. This is in the shade Coconut. So once we've added that contrast, I think we're ready to move on to the next step. Now that we've got the eyes all set, I think this looks so pretty, by the way. It's just, again, like kind of a quintessential spring color. Like, don't mind the mess, but like that's just gorgeous. I love it so much. Next, because I do want this look to be softer and more matte, I'm going to go in with my Haus Labs translucent setting powder. I'm going to really kind of take this almost all over the face, but primarily in the T-zone where I tend to get most oily. I'm just taking a powder puff, tapping it into the mesh area. Always with powder, you want to make sure and take whatever you get on a powder puff and rub the excess onto the palm of your hand or on the back of your hand, wherever, so that you don't deposit way too much product all over your face. I'm just going to start by kind of patting this into areas that I see are maybe a little shinier than I would like. Again, primarily in the T-zone. It just absorbs any excess shine. Doesn't look cakey though. Awesome, all set with the powder, no extra shine. We're ready to move on. I want this look to be more blush focused than bronze. I don't want to be super warm and sun-kissed. I just want to have a really pretty flush to my cheeks. For that, there's really nothing else other than the Dior Rosy Glow Blush in the shade 1. And so this is what the color looks like. Don't be intimidated by it. It looks so bright and just loud and bold in the pan, but these blushes specifically are formulated to be very easy to build up. They don't deposit lots of pigment upon first application, which is why I love them so much. As someone who has redness in their cheeks, I don't want blushes to be overly pigmented on me personally, so this is great because I have a lot of control over building the product up, shearing it out if I want something more subtle. There's a lot of versatility with these. So I think that this color with our highlights, it's just so good. It's so, so good. Like, couldn't be more classic pink and purple tone. So I think this is gonna be pretty. I'm just gonna take just a very fluffy brush. This is just from Real Techniques. And I'm just going to work it into the bristles. Because I'm familiar with this formula, I know that I can go in pretty seemingly heavy-handedly as I'm picking this up. Normally, when you're working with a new blush, or if you know that a blush is more pigmented, you wanna be much more gentle and just kind of tap into the product. But again, because this is a formula I know and am familiar with, I feel like I can do that. And then always tapping off the excess. And then just going to start working this into really the apples of the cheeks. You can tell that it's there, but it's not so obvious of like, look at this bright, bright pink blush that I've got on. It's just such a great compliment, particularly to this specific look. And I like that we're adding this in a powder format so that, again, it's complementing the more mattified look that we're going for. And normally for blush, I do tend to apply it closer to like this area, a little higher, so it's a bit more lifted. For this look though, I really want that kind of like full blushed face, so I am going pretty directly onto the apples of the cheeks. I'm loving how this is coming together. Now, as I mentioned, I don't want to be overly bronzed with this, but I do want to add just a bit of dimension back into the face. So for that, I'm just gonna take my Milk Makeup Sculpt Stick. This is in the shade Toasted, and not gonna go crazy with this, but again, just a little bit of shadow. Nothing too crazy. To blend this out, I'm just using my IT Cosmetics brush from Ulta. From here, I'm just going to go in with some concealer for this because I want my eyes to be very like bright and awake. I'm gonna go in with my Natasha Denona concealer. This is in the shade N1, and this is a really, really thin, but can be very full coverage concealer. Just gonna highlight the bridge of my nose, a little bit on the chin, and a bit on the forehead. Just clean up some redness under there as well. This is just a Eco Tools Precise Concealer brush. I think it's great under the eye, but I don't actually love how this is working as I'm concealing points on my face. So actually, I'm gonna switch this out. House Labs concealer brush. Ironically, I feel like this concealer brush actually is better for applying concealer on the face versus under the eye. I love the brush, but it's quite large to get under your eye. But it's perfect when you're concealing smaller spots on your face, but you don't need like a foundation brush in size. We only have a few more steps to take. One of those being setting the under eyes. Now I don't always do this, but again, because this look is so like fresh and bright, I want to take all the steps I can to open and make my eyes look more awake. For me, the best option to do that is going to be this Huda Beauty setting powder. This is in the shade Cherry Blossom, and it's this really, you can see it's this very light, very fine pink powder. I just have the mini because I specifically just tend to use this to set my under eyes. You'll see that it comes with like a little applicator, which is terrible, like does not work at all for setting under your eyes, maybe a bit more on your face. I tend to just tap out and it's a mess. Some of the product in here. I just use a fluffy eyeshadow brush. You can use any brush. This is just an older Bare Minerals, the blender brush. And I'm just really going to, again, tap off that excess. Woo, you can see it there. And just lightly set the under eyes. This step is for sure optional, but I do think it's these little details that kind of can make a look just that much more elevated. And then if I feel like there's any excess left on the brush, I'll just take it kind of down the bridge of my nose, maybe a little on the forehead area just to brighten those areas up. I'm going to put on some mascara now, and I think that Tower 28 mascara, the Make Waves, is a really great product to use for this look in particular because the applicator has a curve to it that really grips your lashes from underneath and helps them just kind of appear that much more open. There we have it, the eyes are done. I did not put mascara on the bottom lashes. I think just leaving it as is for me is enough of an eye look for today. Of course, we need to add a little lip color. A good rule of thumb, if you're unsure about what lip color to use with particular makeup that you're wearing, you're usually going to be pretty safe with matching your blush and your lipstick color. But sometimes I don't like to do something that's so matchy like that. What you can do is just look for lip colors that are in the same general color family, the general tone range. The closest thing that I've got in this kind of similar color family for this pink blush is going to be the Fenty Beauty Gloss Bomb. This is in the shade Riri, so it's a really pretty nude pink, maybe almost mauve kind of tone, mauve, however you say it. I don't know if you can tell in the bottle, but it's got a very subtle shimmer. I'm going to go in with a bit of this. And I think that's a nice compliment. I'm just gonna set this with a setting spray. I'm gonna use my Until Dawn mattifying setting spray. This is from Patrick Starr's line One Size. This is really like hairspray for your face, but it is such a fine mist. You don't feel it on your face. What I mean by it's hairspray on your face, it's just, it locks everything in for such a long time. It's incredibly long wear. Supposedly this is the setting spray that Beyonce used on her tour. So like, I am convinced, but it's a mattifying setting spray, which I really like. There's not a ton on the market, and so this is a very great option if you're looking for one. This is how it mists. So it's a very light, very fine mist. So this is the final look today, you guys. I think this is so pretty. I hope you felt like it was an approachable look that you can recreate for yourself. It's just gorgeous for spring. We've got these bright, beautiful colors, but use them in a way that I think is not too overpowering, still lets your natural beauty shine through. If you liked today's video, please make sure and give this a thumbs up so that I know you enjoy this content. I can look to make more of it in the future. Make sure and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on future videos. But again, my name is Molly, everyone, and thank you so much for joining me today to talk about the beauty of it all. Bye.